I've read lots of stories in the news about people killing other people and using their body parts for money rituals, people spreading fake news all around the world, and people injuring themselves badly or even dying because of so-called trends that they do. But what's the cause of all this and what aids it? Social media. Recently, I read a story on the Punch newspaper about some teenage boys who were supposedly influenced by social media that burned the head of another human being for money rituals in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. That is the kind of thing that happens when people choose to use social media mindlessly. www.famous.com says the average teenager spent 3 hours and 1 minute on social media each day in 2021, while the average adult spends 2 hours and 24 minutes per day. This adds up to 44 days a year on social media for teenagers and about 37 days a year for adults. Some teenagers even spend up to 9 hours of their day on social media, which is 137 days, about 15 days more than a third of a year. www.famous.com also tells us that Nigeria on the whole spent the third most time on social media in 2021, 3 hours and 36 minutes each day, just below Philippines and Brazil. This time does not include the time people spend on screens doing other things such as school or work-related stuff, gaming, and the like. We need to be able to use social media mindfully in such a way that we don't hurt others or we don't get hurt ourselves. That's where being positively social comes in. According to Ofuerosa, a positive psychology coach, being positively social is a way of engaging with social media and technology mindfully. In this way, we notice and acknowledge the good and challenging parts of using it. We notice how it impacts us, others, and our community, and we choose how we engage with it to stay well, function optimally, and meet our goals. Someone that's positively social is a person that is an informed, mindful, and purposeful user of social media and the world of technology. What is challenging about social media? What's right about it? How is my use impacting me, others, and my community? What's my aim? What do I want to achieve today as I use social media, and who do I want to be? According to a research study from IDC in 2019, about 80% of smartphone users check their mobile phones within 15 minutes of waking up each morning. Of course, with the current COVID-19 situation on our hands, this number would have greatly increased as almost everything in our lives happens online now. This means that the more time we spend offline, the more we miss out. Because of this, we barely sleep so we don't miss out on anything while we're sleeping. We spend a large chunk of our lives checking for updates from our friends, messages, calls, texts, and notifications. Is social media really worth all the attention that we give to it? How does social media impact us when we use it negatively, and what can we do about it? Social media contributes to sleep deprivation when it's used mindlessly. When the COVID-19 pandemic started and we had to commence online learning, my friends and I created a group chat so we could still keep in touch. My friends spent their entire day chatting and even most of their nights. Most of the time, they would finally stop chatting at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and they would still do other things before sleeping. This meant they slept at about 4 o'clock. And those same people wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready for school the next day, getting only an hour of sleep. That completely disrupts their sleep cycle. And before you know it, that was what their body clock was used to. Some people would even wake up really early at about 3 o'clock and chat until it's time to start getting ready for school. Even though that gives you more than an hour's sleep, it's still bad for you. When social media is used mindlessly, it completely disrupts your sleep cycle and changes your body clock. When I say body clock, I mean the schedule that your body follows. It includes things you do daily, such as eating, sleeping, waking up, and the like. This schedule is formed by repeatedly doing something. For example, if you sleep at 11 o'clock each night, your body clock will automatically mark up 11 o'clock for sleeping. Social media usage is not the only thing that may keep you awake at night, but according to www.sleepfoundation.org, about 70% of people report using social media after getting into bed, and about 15% of people spend an hour or more on it each night. Social media also lowers self-esteem and self-image when it's used mindlessly. This can lead to a higher risk of self-harm. Whether online or offline, we have a natural tendency to compare ourselves to others based on different qualities we believe we should have or society believes we should have. When we compare ourselves to people who we feel are lesser than us, we feel better. When we compare ourselves to people who we feel are superior to us, we feel bad and lowers our self-esteem. This comparison is still there in the physical world, but having access to social media makes everything worse because you can check it at any time, wherever you are, once you have internet access. The truth is, people sometimes post unreal images online to impress others. Then we start feeling bad and making ourselves miserable because of a picture online that may not even be real. We start feeling depressed and inferior because of something we saw or something someone told or sent to us. We compare ourselves and compare ourselves and compare ourselves until we don't even have a sense of self-worth anymore. When we then feel that everybody is better than us in every way, then we begin to doubt ourselves. Our self-esteem keeps getting lower, and so does the image we have of ourselves. Then some people feel like they don't even have a reason to live anymore. So what do? People hurt themselves, or people make wrong decisions that could affect them badly later in life. They do this just because someone or some people posted things and they felt intimidated by it. The good opinion they had of themselves had been shattered. Social media increases the rate of peer pressure and fear of missing out, also known as FOMO, in teenagers and youth, making them do things they wouldn't normally have done. A lot of times we do things on social media just for our social benefits or because other people are doing it. For example, TikTok trends like the milk crate challenge. People fell and injured themselves badly because they felt like they had to accept the challenge. People fell off places 10 tall crates high, wearing no protective garments whatsoever. They hit their head, broke their wrists, arms, legs, and backs, dislocated their shoulders, and fractured bones in various parts of their bodies. Some people even went as far as trying to do the challenge while riding a bicycle and wearing extremely high heels. Then there was also the fire challenge, where people poured rubbing alcohol into a plastic jug bottle, then set it on fire to make a whoosh sound. According to www.kktv.com, the East Haven Fire Department says a teenager was badly burned while attempting it. www.distractfire.com also tells us that a 13-year-old girl landed in the ICU with severe burns on her neck and arms after participating in this challenge. Then some trends even resulted in death, such as the Benadryl challenge and the blackout challenge. But why do people do these challenges anyway? To prove they can do the challenge, to get themselves more likes, to get themselves more followers, to break a record, to fit in with everyone else and follow the crowd. Social media aids bullying when it's not used appropriately. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines bullying as abuse and mistreatment of someone vulnerable by someone stronger or more powerful. Bullying is intimidating someone because of things they have done, should have done, or looked, judged by your own personal yardsticks. Sometimes people bully other people because they feel they're superior, or even for no reason at all. Now, there's something called cyberbullying, which is just all of this, but doing it online. It includes bullying through texting, calls, emails, and other social media platforms. According to www.comparetech.com, about 1/5 of all bullying occurs through social media. In addition to low self-esteem and self-image, cyberbullying also contributes to self-harm, such as suicides. In fact, more teen suicides are now attributed in a way to cyberbullying than they have ever been before. Imagine these. You post a video and hate comments flood your comment section. You suddenly get a cruel message from someone you don't even know. Someone calls you just to bully you for whatever reason, and all these continue over and over again. The problem is, we tend to think more of the terrible things that happen than of the good ones, so these vile thoughts remain at the back of our minds in every point in time, and the bully continues. Eventually, you begin to think that everything they're saying is true, even when it's not. You may begin to doubt yourselves and make wrong decisions. According to www.firstguide.com, 41% of people who were cyberbullied developed social anxiety, and 37% of them developed depression. 25% harmed themselves, 14% developed eating disorders, and 9% abused drugs or alcohol, and a lot more. But what do drugs and alcohol have to do with cyberbullying? It's probably because those substances make you feel better for a while before the reality of the world kicks in again. That way, victims of cyberbullying feel better about themselves for a while. But abusing drugs and alcohol has a negative long-term impact on people. Not only victims of cyberbullying experience this too. www.projectknow.com says teens who bully their peers are more likely to use alcohol, marijuana, and cigarettes compared to students who don't bully others. Both the bully and the victim are negatively impacted by cyberbullying. Then there is cyberstalking, which is another effect of mindless use of social media. Cyberstalking is the use of the internet to harass or stalk another person. There are several types of cyberstalking. Webcam hijacking involves tricking you into downloading an infected file that grants them access to your webcam. Observing location check-ins on social media is another way cyberstalkers can monitor your location. They just have to check your social media profile. Catfishing is when internet stalkers make fake profiles on social media and approach their victims as a friend or someone they know. They even hack into your social media accounts to find your personal information. With these, cyberstalkers can get all the information they want about you, and you may not even notice. Then they begin to call you, email you, text you, and contact you by other means. They use all the information they have obtained to bully you for their gains and sometimes to track your physical location. Mindless use of social media also decreases the attention students pay to schoolwork. How? You're supposed to be studying, but every 5 minutes you switch on your phone to see if someone texted you, called you, or posted something. At the end of the day, you would have spent more time on social media than on studying. When you do that repeatedly, your grades will begin to drop. Then there's also the instance of using social media during lessons. Some schools allow devices in school and intend them to be used for emergency purposes, schoolwork, or during breaks. But some students abuse that and use it during classes instead. A study shows that 95% of students bring their phones to school. Of that 95%, 92% have used their phone to text a message at least once or twice during a class, with 30% admitting to doing this daily. 10% of students have admitted to having texted during an exam at least once. Lastly, mindless use of social media exposes teenagers to predators, and this could pose a huge risk. A stranger sends you a message on social media, and you believe that the friendly thing to do is to reply. You don't know who this person is, their gender, their age, or anything about them, but you text them back anyway. According to www.coa.com, federal investigators believe that there are more than 500,000 predators active each day, and they have multiple online profiles. More than 50% of victims are aged 12 to 15, and 89% of victims are contacted by online predators through chat rooms and instant messaging. Most of the time, predators pose as someone you think is your age when they are nowhere near that age range. And once you start chatting with them, they will keep on chatting with you and intimidating you, and you will believe that they are like you. They are not. Most of the time, predators ask the child to meet in person, and they send the addresses since they consider these predators friends. So, knowing all this, how can you use social media more mindfully? First off, no matter how much someone threatens you, says hurtful things, or pressures you, don't intimidate or bully other people, and don't let anyone intimidate or bully you. Next, keep to your values. Let the good values that you learn from the very beginning of your life stay with you. Values such as honesty, love, kindness, trustworthiness, truthfulness, and the like. To help keep your body clock at a healthy sleeping time, set specific times for sleeping and waking up, and do not let social media disrupt these. If it helps, put away all gadgets during your sleeping time. In addition, do not answer strangers and block or even report their profiles. Though some people may prove stubborn and keep contacting you using different profiles, do not stop blocking them. Never give out your personal information to anyone: phone numbers, home or work or school addresses, emails, ID numbers, and stuff like that. Never download anything you don't know about, visit sites you don't know about, or click on any adverts. I'm not saying that social media is a bad place. It has a lot of positives even though there are negatives. You just have to use it mindfully and remember to be positively social. I like to end with a quote by Y. Keane. Social media is a double-edged sword. It has the power to do real good, but also the power to hurt. Which side of the sword will you use, and which side would you let others use on you? Thank you.